understand now, because your tee boxes will be quite a bit larger than the smaller ones that we have now, so that there'll be more variance than for where the tee markers can be. Oh, okay. For our current number 8 hole with the pond, that is now proposed to be changed to a par 4. Is there no way that we can still keep that pond? I see that you have a bunker scheme going down the right-hand side.
Yeah. The pond is actually exactly where most people are going to hit it, and that corridor is very, very tight. You know, if we left the pond, we'd only have 10 or 12 yards between the trees left of number 9 and the pond in a very important part of the fairway. So that's the reason it's proposed to be filled in. I just don't think there's enough room there to create the par 4 hole that I'd like to with the water feature there.
The one thing I did want to give you an accolade for is how you've designed the cart paths, that they don't interfere with the play, that they're around the sides instead of somebody hitting a cart path and bouncing heaven knows where. And also I can understand about the greens. Some of our greens are band grass, some of them are plana, and you have different speeds even though Daryl tries to keep all the greens the same speed. So I can understand how having all the same kind of grass would be beneficial. The one thing I did want to mention, starting with the par 5, I find that it really kind of spreads out the play. I can remember back when we used to start on what is now our number 10 hole, and well, there was a girl with trees to the right that really people got in trouble with. And it seemed that it really slowed up play, so you were always behind on the tee times. And I find with the par 5, people get out there 1, 2, 3 to the green, and the flow of the course seemed to go very nicely. So I'm just wondering if we're starting with a par 4 and then having a par 3 right away, is there going to be a backup on that par 3 so that you have 2 and 3 groups waiting?
Well, I certainly hope not. I mean, I think pace of play is more of a golfer, like the people playing's issue a lot of times than it is the architecture or the layout of the holes. And just to be contrary to what you said about the par 5, I'm not sure when you play or who you play with, maybe ladies' days and things like that, where nobody's going for that green in 2. If I went out with a group of guys that I play with back home on a 480-yard par 5 to start, we'd all be waiting in the fairway. It would slow us down because we'd hit a drive down there 280, 290 yards, then we'd be standing in the fairway waiting for the guys to get off the green.
Oh, I see your point.
Yeah, so, it's half a dozen of one, 6 of the other.
My last point, if the course is shut down and we're only going to be able to play 9 holes, how would they do that? Would it be like crossovers all day long?
Calling Trevor Goff. I know Trevor's done quite a bit of research right into.
Yeah, just to answer that, Trevor actually has surveyed all the clubs which have gone through this process in a 2-year thing, and he developed an outline of a 9-hole program and some recommendations which will then go to the to the golf committee, to the match committee, and make sure what can be done. So, obviously all the outside tournaments will be gone. There'll be some of those kind of things which will free up play. And he has data from the other clubs which will be very helpful to provide that. Something what Ed mentioned, I mean, the information we got to date is that those clubs don't experience more pressure on the tee times than they have currently. For whatever reason, it's not that people come here and they want to play 2 9-hole things. They just play 1 or come later. So that experience has not happened in other clubs, but again, Trevor is working on it. So
I just wanted to say that as far as I was concerned, and if you were only able to play a 9-hole course, that a lot more people would be playing. I play on the weekends a lot, so you would be playing later in the day. So actually, where it is right now, like late Friday nights and late Saturday nights, or after 6 or 7 o'clock, there's nobody out on the course. And I'm thinking that, well, hey, maybe I'll play at 5 o'clock instead then, and be able to get in 2 nights then, well, in the summertime when it's light out. But I think you are going to have to kind of change your thinking of when you're going to be able to have access to the course and kind of accommodate that. Thanks.
Jeff, when if, say, the Derrick accepted your proposal, what percentage of the existing trees would stay on the course as it is today?
Well, I haven't done it that way in terms of, or I haven't thought about it that way in terms of thinking about percentage, but you know, the only trees that really need to go are on the 5 new holes that were, you know, that are essential to go, is to create those new hole corridors. So, I mean, just looking at 5 new holes compared to 18 holes out there, you know, it's a small percentage relatively that need to go. I mean, I can figure that out for anybody who's interested, but I'm not sure off the top of my head.
You don't recommend removing all the poplar trees to a different species?
Well, I do strongly, but I think it needs to be done over a period of time, right? I mean, if we went out there and knocked down every poplar tree, I'm sure there'd be a few people that pass out. So yeah, certainly Daryl and I have talked about tree species and as the golf course moves forward. So it would, like, as a long-term plan, I think that'd be a great idea to look at replacement of those trees and any other undesirable trees out there for sure.
Jeff, I wasn't going to talk today because I'm going to see you at 7:30 tomorrow morning, but Ed got up here and talked about the 50-year-old guys, and I guess I'm one of them. You're the 3rd architect that I've listened to up here and followed through on. And I just think of the timing. I happened to be general manager when we did the 2nd architect and the master plan that you talked about 17 years ago. And if we, I know there's factions here that are dead set against doing it in 2 years. And we look at all options that are available. But if we had done what we were supposed to do 17 years ago, with 14A hole open, we were going to do 1 hole a year for 17 to 18 years and clean them all up. We would be finished next year. Just a call.
That's an interesting scenario.
Time goes by very quick.
If there's no further questions, again, we'd like to invite you out tomorrow morning. There's a 6:30 tour and a 7:30 tour. It really gives you a different perspective on what Jeff's talking about. I've done the loop 3 or 4 times, and it's an eye-opener. There's a lot of conversation tonight about different theories, and he dispels a lot of the theories when he gets on the, or a lot of the different ideas when he gets on the golf course. So if you have a few minutes in the morning, please join us. Again, thank you very much for getting engaged in this, and I appreciate your time. Have a good evening.